Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome to the mathematics virtual session, and today we are going to start with the new chapter, and that is all about square and square roots. But before we go into the details about square and square roots, let me briefly tell you about the basic introductory concept on algebra. Algebra is the part of mathematics, the branch of mathematics that use variables. What are variables? Variables are quantity which has variable measures in terms of quantity. And why do we use variables? Variable is used to express multiple mathematical operations and mathematical relation, in particular equations and scenarios. So equation has two sides, the right side and the left side, and then there is a medium that equates the both side, which we call as equals to. So equation has to be equal in every situation. In this sense, there is a equation that reads out that a box minus 2 is equal to 4, and if you put x as a variable in that place of a box, then the equation would be like x minus 2 is equal to 4, and here we are supposed to find the value of x. So if we put the minus 2 over the right side of the equation, then the minus 2 would be turned to be as plus 2, then 4 plus 2 would be 6, and then the equation would be finalized as x is equal to 6, and x has a value of 6. So now you can see that this slide which is being displayed is showing you how the previous equation has been solved out. So when we carry out some operations, so we need to carry out that particular equation on very equal basis on the for the both sides of the equation. As I told you that equation has to be kept balanced in all the situation. So you can see the equation which is being solved, and you can easily understand as the slide shows out the procedure step by step regarding that simple equation to understand the basic concepts of algebraic equations. So here you go, this picture is showing you that we need to keep out the balance very perfectly equal on the both side of the equation. So this picture more clarifies you about this concept. Then there is a concept of coefficient. Whatever the number which is written just before the variable is called as coefficient. Okay, you can see out there in this picture. And then let's come towards to the very basic formula, very basic property of algebra. Basically there are multiple properties, but in terms of your chapter square and square root, we use this property which is a plus b whole square. That means a plus b, the bracket, multiplied twice with the same bracket a plus b. And as we go throughout to the operation accordingly, so we get the result of this formula as a square plus 2ab plus b square. You can see the solution step by step. Moreover, the next slide will show you. So as you can see here, this slide shows you how to read the result, which is square of the first term, then twice the product of the two term, and then square of the last term. So this slide is also showing you the second formula, which is x minus y whole square, which results into x square minus 2xy plus y square. The difference lies just in the middle of the term in this formula. Okay. So now let's begin to the square portion, and we'll deal with the study of squares first and then square roots. So now let me show you a chart of squares, and they are called as perfect squares. Perfect squares are those numbers, those integers which are multiplied by itself twice. Okay, a square means multiplying by itself twice. So the resultant is called the perfect square of that particular integer. Okay, so you can see the chart in this slide as being displayed. So as you can see that square is the concept that multiplies the digit twice, multiplies the integer twice by itself. Okay, I have shown you the example in terms of variables and in terms of a number as well, as you can see out in the slide being displayed out. So let me tell you a very important and interesting property that can help you out to solve multiple choice questions as a quiz. For example, if you are given a huge number, and you are asked that if we multiplies the number with itself, like if we get the square of this number, then what would be the last digit of this square? So instead of going into the details multiplication, we can find out the last digit of that particular square by this property, that for example, if the last digit of that big figure is, for example, 3, as you can see into the slide, so we know that what is the answer of what is the perfect square of 3 is 9. So we can say that this perfect square would end up at 9. For example, if 3 is not the place, there is 4 is the last digit of that particular number, so we know that the 4 is give you the square of 16. So 16 means the last digit of that square would be 6. Is that clear? Let me tell you another property. Like for example, if you are asked that a number is given to you, big number is given to you, and the question is asking you that is this number a perfect square? So how to calculate and how to know? Then we would look at the unit place of the number, the last digit of that place, the unit place, and if that number would be or could be 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, 9. So basically this property is telling you that if a number, whether it could be any large, any big, if that number is ending on 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9, then that number would be definitely a perfect square. So you got these two properties. So now let's move forward. So now let's move toward the question session, which is finding square. This is all about examples only. Okay, so for example, you are given a number, for example 42, and you are asked that to find out the square. So 42 is somehow a big number, so we can find out the square in a quick way by applying that particular algebraic formula that we have discussed earlier in this lecture, a plus b whole square. So how do we do that? We can split the number, for example 42, into two parts. Let us suppose 40 on the other hand as a, and then 2 on the other hand as b. 40 is equal to a and b is equal to 2. So we can now solve it out in more easier and simplified form, because to solve out the 40 digit is a bit easy, and then solving out 2 is obviously more simplified. So you can see that how I have applied the a plus b whole square formula in this slide. Okay, so you can see out and help yourself to solve as practice, so that as we will move forward toward the exercise, so you can feel more comfortable about that. Now let's move on toward the Pythagorean triplet concept. What are Pythagorean triplets? Now let's look at it. For example, there is a question given to you, 3 square plus 4 square is equal to what? Okay, 3 square plus 4 square is equal to what? So we can solve it out in a more simplified form. We know that 3 square is equal to 9, 4 square is equal to 16, both sums up as 25. So we can write as 3 square plus 4 square is equal to 25, or 3 square plus 4 square is equal to 5 square. So that means 3 square, 4 square and 5 square. These are the Pythagorean triplet. 3, 4, 5 are Pythagorean triplet. Now for example, if you are asked that there is a number given to you 16, and you are asked to find out the two members of Pythagorean triplet. So let me show you a formula, which is 2m comma m square minus 1 plus m square plus 1. So let us suppose we have given one number, that is 2m. 2m is equal to 16. Now if we solve out to find out the m, if 2 is multiplying the m, and if it is shifted toward the right hand side towards 16, so then it turns out to divide the 16. So we will get m is equal to 16 divided by 2, which results into m is equal to 8. So we can now solve it out. We can put the 8 digit into the formula, and we can figure out the formula to find out the Pythagorean triplet, as you can see in this video being displayed out. And let me tell you students, it all about you to practice more and more. And if you find any difficulty, so you can contact us, you can show your query to the WhatsApp group. So this is the slide which is showing out some properties that we have worked out in this lecture. Okay, so you have to practice the questions, the lecture question, the lecture example, so you can feel more comfortable about the concept of a square, and then we will move toward the question answer in our next lecture. So till then, good luck, stay blessed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.